What's up, soccer friends? Welcome to Kickback Committee. We're glad you're here. I'm Susannah Fuller, and we've got what I think is going to be a really fun episode today. One very good reason for that is I'm joined by my dear friend, David Goss. Everybody knows him, loves him. Second reason, Goss and I are challenging ourselves today. We really are. Because with so many, there's been a lot of massive sporting events happening recently, and so we decided we're going to try to find the soccer through lines within these events. So mostly just so we could talk about them, because if you were privy to our production meeting before this, we've just spent the last 20 minutes talking about the Olympics.
Dun, 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 dun. It's the greatest time of every 2 years.
I just got goosebumps.
I know. It's so good.
We nailed it. We absolutely nailed it. So yeah, that's going to be fun. We're turning non-soccer events into soccer events.
Because let's be real.
You will. That's what we do.
Events.
They're all soccer events. It's all we care about anyway. But that's not all. We're going to talk about some Canks Abroad, what's going on with some of our guys overseas, Weston, McKennie, Ricardo Pepe, Jacen, Russell-Rowe. And since Goss was not here last week, we're going to catch up on the Great British Bake Off transfer news with him, because I need to get your thoughts, my friend.
Wait, is that the phrase you use? I didn't notice. Did you use transfer news?
No, I didn't. I thought of it.
That is so
yesterday.
good.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, oh, see, we're turning things in non-soccer things into soccer things.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be like the whole mentality of Kickback Committee from here on out.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it too.
I'm super into it. Goss ran a half marathon, everybody. Before we get into this, I just want to tell everyone that I'm very proud of my friend.
Thank you.
How did it go?
It went okay. It went better than I expected.
Okay.
And it was miserable at the same time. So like,
both things can be true.
Both things can be true. I still have to send you some video clips, but we ran in Sedona, Arizona. It's the second time we've been there. It's like amazing.
Yeah.
It is like absolutely amazing. Every corner you turn, every direction you face, it's like a different thing. So that was cool because we ran off the main road towards the mountains. So it's like one view going every time. It's different coming back, but it was hilly. My knees felt like they were going to explode. God. And there's this weird thing that happened. So I've never in my entire life run more than 8 miles. And that's not like a hard line. I just don't know when I ever would have. And I did an 8 mile while we were training for this. So when we passed 8 miles, my wife goes, "Congrats, longest you've ever run."
Thanks, Meg.
I'm like, I still have 5 miles left to go. So that was an experience. But a funny thing has happened, which is my wife is so good at pacing, which I've never done before in my life, that I actually get more comfortable as the run goes along. Yes, this is a thing people have been doing their whole lives. This is known.
Yep, this is known.
I didn't know about this, but the beginning still sucks the same
tough.
amount. She's great at the beginning, and then she's done. So there was probably not a single moment at the race where we both felt good, but she dragged me the first half, and I dragged her the second half.
Incredible.
And as a team, we completed.
Teamwork.
I know.
That's beautiful.
I know.
That's beautiful. Last question. Did you go to Tortas de Fuego?
We were drinking a margarita at Tortas de Fuego within 30 minutes of finishing the race.
I love that.
We literally walked to the car, stretched, got in the car, drove down the streets of Tortas de Fuego,
that
walked
makes me
in,
so happy.
sat in a booth. I ordered 19 dishes. I was like, yeah, I'll have a sope with a side of French fries. We'll have the chips and queso.
You earned it, my friend.
Yeah, I know. I went from, I'm capable of these physical feats, maybe I should be healthier, to immediately sick. Yeah, and I hate myself. So it was a vibe. It was an experience. I'm glad I did it. I'd like to never do it again. Okay. And pretty much the whole time, all I thought about was you and other people I know who run full marathons. And I understand less now how that happens. Also, the worst part, and I can't imagine with the New York one, is getting up and getting there. Like,
it's such a process too.
And you
the
stand
New York
outside in the
nightmare.
cold for how long?
It involves a ferry.
like what time did you leave compared to what time you started?
Okay, so my start time, I feel like the last one I did, I feel like my start time was around 9:45, and I left my apartment in Brooklyn at like 5 a.m.
That's insane. That's insane. I would be exhausted if I left my apartment in Brooklyn at 5 a.m. on any day.
Yeah.
And then you go and you do a physical feat that is beyond anything that a person's supposed to do
It's dumb. It's so dumb. I don't know what I was thinking, but I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done, David Goss. Okay, so while you were doing your thing in Sedona, there was a lot of sporting events happening, which I'm sure you were aware of. Can we talk about...
Carbo Load on Friday night was perfectly timed
100.
alongside Milan Cortina opening ceremonies.
Exactly. But before we get into the Olympics, I know we're dying to talk about it. I want to talk about Benito Bowl.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl. Super Bowl 60, Pats versus Seahawks at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. The game was kind of trash. I'm not going to lie. It was just not great. There wasn't a touchdown scored until the fourth quarter. But brutal. In the end, the Seahawks defense and their kicker kind of won. And their running back, Walker the third. Yeah, who was the MVP. So it was a decisive 29-13 win for
Great
Seattle.
Story here, sort of. His dad, I think, is uncomfortable around crowds. Never been to an NFL game before.
Get that.
This was his first NFL game. And he's Kenneth Walker Jr.
Yes.
And I think they cut to him in the crowd at one point, and he was cheering him on.
And his son wins the Super Bowl MVP.
Pretty cool.
And his first. Okay, well done, you.
1 for 1.
1 for 1. Yeah. Woo! Okay, so as we mentioned at the top of the show, we're going to find the soccer through lines in these big sporting events, and there were some soccer people involved in the Super Bowl. Number one, I have to give credit to our good friend Matt Doyle, who, if you follow him on Blue Sky, he tweeted, because it was a very defensive game. He said Eric Ramsey loves this game,
nice.
And I was like, oh, that's very, very.
He knows his people.
He definitely knows his people. Also at the Super Bowl, though, there was FIFA had a massive presence there. Obviously, Levi Stadium is going to be hosting a bunch of World Cup matches this summer. And so, it made sense that they would be promoting all the matches, but it was pretty cool to see like such a big presence there. And at Radio Row they had a spot and people stopping by, so I think that it was a good indication of the excitement that is totally building right now ahead of the World Cup, which is fun.
Can we talk about the best soccer part of the whole thing?
Of course we can.
So I don't know if you heard, but Bad Bunny played the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Yeah. It was kind of a big deal, and a record amount of people watched it, and it was an incredible show, which we can talk about in specifics. But the one thing that pops out is, I think you, like me, are one of those people where you hear a country or see a flag, and the first thing is like, oh, who's a soccer player from that place? So when Bad Bunny ended by talking about America, which is the Americas, and named every country from south to north, I'm like, oh, now we're in CONCACAF. What are we talking about here? We doing Gold Cup? We doing Nations League? Is this CONCACAF W? Like, what's going on right now? And that was my only reaction to that exact event.
I love that. That just absolutely fits for you, Goss. Dude, it was the best. I loved the Prince halftime show in, I guess it was 2006, because the Chicago Bears were playing in the Super Bowl then, obviously. But, playing Purple Rain in the rain with the do-rag and his guitar, it was absolutely iconic. And for me, that was always like the gold standard of Super Bowl halftime shows. And this one was...
It was a movie.
It was a movie.
It was like
How
a feature
did they pull
film.
This off? It was so beautiful. All just when you think about all the technical aspects that had to go into this and the time that it must have took, because he literally took us on a tour of Puerto Rico. Like I felt like I was there, and it was beautiful, and I was emotional, and then I was like empowered, like I felt all of the things, and it was if you didn't enjoy Bad Bunny's halftime show, then it's like, I kind of think I know what type of person you are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you probably don't listen to Kickback Committee that often either. It was incredible. It's one of those things, right? It's like, 12 minutes long? To pack that amount of like nuance and meaning into it. And then my cool experiences my wife, Megan, who ran the half marathon with me, she works in this type of space. So to watch it through her eyes and to get to talk about it with her and like the way they plan shots, right? Like there was just these moments where it's like, we said at one point, like they were dancing on the truck and the grass and the shot came through the grass and it felt like we were watching Sinners, like the movie.
Yeah.
Like, but it's like, that doesn't happen in a live event because you just can't create those types of shots and lighting and spacing and all that type of stuff. So all of that was like off the charts. And then the flow of it to occur live through the whole thing. The reason everyone was dressed up as bushes is because there's a limit to how many physical elements you can bring onto the field. So they couldn't use...
Interesting.
Because you can't drag more stuff onto the grass.
Right.
But there's no limit in that way to the amount of people. Where I think in the
How
past...
clever.
Genius. And my favorite part of the weekend was that the meme, which was all the people dressed up as coffee pots and paintbrushes in Italy were then also doubling as bushes and had to fly across the world to double as this, because in the opening ceremonies in Italy, there was like this ridiculous thing where they had 3 colors of paint come down. Everyone was dressed as famous Italian stuff and whatever. And it was a good day for extras who are very good at what they do.
They nailed it, man. They really knocked it out of the park. Yeah, it was spectacular. I'm still thinking about it, and I think like the next day, I just want to know what the downloads are like on Spotify and Apple Music
for
Bad Bunny. And then I was kind of laughing. I'm like, oh no, it's like now all the like dads are gonna be like
into it.
You guys know Bad Bunny? You know Bad Bunny? Like in their vests and I was like, oh no. But you know what? Bad Bunny would probably love it. So if Bad Bunny's cool with it, then so am I.
Douglas says that Bad Bunny has 24 songs in the top 100 today as of recording. That's insane.
I mean, it was a phenomenon. We're going to be talking about that one for a very, very long time. Also, like the celeb cameos.
Yeah.
Like casual.
In the casita.
Oh, hey, Pedro Pascal. Just like dancing in the casita. Like Jessica Alba. Who else was in there? There were some good ones.
Who was the Cardi B was in there.
Cardi B, that's right. Who I didn't know is engaged or dating.
Questionable.
Really? Which football player was it?
Stefan Diggs.
Stefan Diggs.
Who is, I believe, being currently tried for some stuff. And there are reports and videos of Cardi B leaving on her own.
Okay.
In frustration. And maybe they're fighting. Who knows?
I'm going to have to do my own deep dive on this one. Jeez. Yeah.
Oh, Ronald Acuna Jr. was in the casita? Douglas is putting all of this in. This has been the fun part of this.
Yeah.
This has been a full 5-day experience now of like everyone analyzing each moment and who are these people and what were, he had this segment where he played, former or older reggaeton stars music. He played, I believe he played Tego Calderon, who's like, used to get arrested consistently because reggaeton was illegal in Puerto Rico in the early 90s, and he's one of my favorites. He obviously had Ricky Martin in. He played Gasolina by Daddy Yankee. So, like, all these little moments, all these little cuts of life were really, really cool. And, he brought this small island to the world, which was pretty impressive. Incredible. And if you want to learn more about Puerto Rico, you interviewed Zarek Valentin.
Sure did. What a ledge. This is our soccer through line, by the way.
There we go. We did it.
Can we? I have to imagine that Bad Bunny will somehow be involved in a World Cup. Like
it would make sense.
Closing ceremony.
Was Club World Cup? I think Club World Cup halftime show was J Balvin.
It was
at the last thing with Coldplay. Yeah. So how do you go up from club to Real World Cup?
Bad Bunny.
That would be the jump.
There's nobody hotter in the world right now than Benito.
Although I do always laugh that my joke, which is 2010 World Cup in Africa, Shakira was like the theme song. Then the next World Cup went to South America, but Pitbull was the theme song, who's from North America or the Caribbean, whatever you want to say. And then it went to Russia and it was Will Smith, I think. Was the theme song. So it's like they always miss. The key to understand is that they will always miss. So my assumption is Bad Bunny will be the lead artist at the 2030 World Cup, probably playing in the Madeira Islands or something, somewhere between all 19 countries that will be hosting.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Although I did see, this is a full on the aside. The 2030 logo is out because it was presented somewhere, and
What?
it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it says Yala and Vamos because it's co-hosted between Portugal, Spain, and Morocco.
Yes, that's right. Oh,
So I'm into that. So
cool.
Bad Bunny could be the main.
There you go. I'm here for it. All right, Goss, should we get into the Olympics?
Yes.
Because I know Benito got us all excited, but here we go. We both love the Olympics. We have been unapologetic about our love, especially for the Winter Olympics. So once again, we're going to try to turn these Milan Cortina games into a soccer event. And we can start with some of the torchbearers, Goss, that we saw. Because Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Cesc Fabregas, and Javier Zanetti, all torchbearers in this one. Cesc took it through Como, and then both Zlatan and Zanetti were in the streets of Milan, having both played for Milan and Inter. So immediately, there you go.
The moment I saw Zlatan, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, he's pretty iconic. Also, I don't know that this is the reason why, but Sweden's like, they just swept one of the events I watched. Women's cross country sprint. It was literally 3 Swedes, all 3 medals. So there's that connection as well. But like, he was walking with it, and in the opening ceremony, you could see like it's weighty.
Yeah.
Like, because I think it has the fuel in it. It has like, and
well,
so
it has to stay lit. Like,
it has to stay lit. Yeah,
like it has to have some.
It has to stay
sort of
lit,
liquid
and it's
in
like
there.
this big, huge thing. So when they handed it off in the opening ceremony, you're like, "Oh, this thing's like heavy." And Zlatan's like walking around like it's like a piece of paper.
Yeah.
He looked good with the
did.
torch. It looked fitting.
It really did. Okay, let's talk about the opening ceremony, which was, I loved it. Sometimes opening ceremonies can be a little bit, they're always like kind of quirky, and they try to represent the region that they are in. And sometimes it just goes way over my head, and I'm like, what is happening? But I actually thought this one was really beautiful. And one of the things that was so beautiful was Andrea Bocelli performing. And he's just, my God, his man's voice is of another world. And I don't know the name. I should know the name of the song he's saying. It's very recognizable, but it gives me like just shivers up and down my spine. But fun fact, he has also performed at several big soccer events, Goss. Most recently, the World Cup draw, 2026, and he's performed at, I think, Champions League finals. So, like, this was another lovely soccer tie-in. It was
a good tie-in, and then I didn't know this. Serie A is playing games in the San Siro during the Olympics.
So that's how.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess there's clearly no Olympic event in the San Siro,
but you would think there's like a limit on the amount the city can function.
Exactly.
With.
That's what I'm thinking of, like infrastructure.
So I didn't realize this, but as part of, and we talked about this on the show last year, UEFA had allowed league games to be moved countries. We thought La Liga games are actually going to come to Miami, and then there was issues with that. The players' union struck, and it has been waived off. At the same time, Serie A had applied to have a game in Perth, Australia. It was this game or this week. So that I didn't realize that was the thinking, which was we don't want to have the game. It was supposed to be Milan Como. Okay. They didn't want to have the game in Milan or Como during the Olympics, so they were going to move it. Now, do you have to move it to Perth, Australia? Probably not. It seems a little bit drastic.
Yeah.
And then that was struck down. But Inter Juve is on Saturday at San Siro.
That's a big match too, because I think Juve are in 4th right now. Inter are on top. Like there's
and there is men's hockey that night in Milan, and there is gold medal action in Milan on speed skating or figure skating, whichever else is there. So there is going to be those three events, which by the way didn't know, probably wouldn't have gone to Italy for the Olympics because I probably couldn't afford it. But if I had known there was going to be a soccer game, maybe I would have had us all tie it in.
That would have been epic. Man, there's a lot going on.
Crazy.
It's crazy. U.S. men's national team players apparently, and our producer Douglas just informed me of this before we went on. Apparently they were picking their Olympic sports on a social video. Like if they were in the Olympics, what sport would they be? And Douglas, I don't know if you have the video and you want to pull it up, but I have no idea what any of these guys said. So this would be the first time I'm seeing it, but apparently this happened and I missed it in my research for this episode.
For sure, hockey. There's no question, hockey.
Okay.
One Olympic sport. Honestly, I'd love to try ice hockey.
Skiing's in there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm doing skiing.
If I could, I would do snowboarding, not because I'm good at it, but because I think it would be cool to be good at it. A different version of skateboarding, you know what I mean?
I would say bobsledding. I can't do anything else, so I thought you
I would probably partake in snowboarding. I think it's just like the coolest
And
one.
he's a Colorado
Good at
rapper.
snowboarding,
Yeah.
half pipe. I think that would be really
yeah.
fun to compete in, and I think point out some tricks would be sick.
I'm gonna say hockey because I enjoy watching hockey, not because I'm good. I would get torched, I would get beaten up, but
Would
I
you,
think
Christian?
it'd be fun to
Yeah,
be part
right.
of a team.
I don't think so.
Ice hockey's cool, but I like the small uniqueness of curling. You know,
Yes!
I think everyone gets
Yes!
excited by curling
It's Matt Turner.
every 4 years, so it'd be cool to be a part of that.
Definitely like the half pipe, doing all the tricks and stuff. Yeah, I think I
Great
would
hair.
definitely.
That again, he has
Speed
snowboarding
skating.
here.
Because
Ooh.
I'm the fastest skater in the MLS.
I'm not convinced, Miles.
Really paused on that one.
Miracle is my favorite movie and one of
Obviously.
the biggest reasons that I want to represent my country. And I used to watch that probably every week when I was young, growing up.
Of
I
course
lived
he
in
has, like, a
Minnesota,
really good
so-
answer to
so
I know,
hockey was
exactly.
really big. We live near a
The
lake.
Harvard-educated
go skating
guy.
on it all the time, play with my friends, my neighbors on the lake. So, definitely hockey.
I would also say I think goalie transition to hockey is probably the
Would they? You'd
Easy-
automatically
easiest
put them
way?
in goal, right?
Yes,
Like
I think
that's
so. Yeah.
that would be the
my
easiest
guess is like the size. Douglas can tell us if we're wrong. My guess is their size is wrong and like they wouldn't cover correctly and blah blah blah. But yeah, it would seem like the reactions. I know I played with a lot of indoor keepers like futsal and stuff. That's the same because the goals are small, quick reactions, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Those are similar vibes. I will say this: I think Christian would be like cross country skiing or something where it's just pure like grit, belief, and endurance.
100%.
Maybe long track speed skating. And then I was surprised with Tim Ream the most because at this event, this was at Media Marketing that this was recorded. I chatted with Tim Ream. He did say he was a hockey fan, but he also seems like a bit of an outdoorsman. So I thought he would be a bit more of a like biathlon. Yeah.
I remember the name of it.
Something like that where you're like, oh yeah, Tim Ream likes to like, I don't know, throw some
I can
wood on his
totally
back
see
and
that,
go for a
actually.
hike. Yeah.
We should run that by him and be like, I know you said hockey. We at the committee actually think you're more suited for
He would be
biathlon."
offended that we spent the time even talking about him. He'd be like, what a waste of time.
What are
Don't
you
do that.
doing? I know. We're sad. We're sad sacks. Oh, that was fun. I've always had this question. If I had a year to train for an Olympic event, like what could I realistically train
Everyone,
for
come on.
in a year?
We know
What is
the
it?
answer. It's
What is it?
curling.
Is it curling?
I think curling
I've
is
tried curling and it's very hard.
it's very hard, but it's the most attainable. I feel like most other sports have an innate physical thing that you have to
Yeah.
have, right? Like if you want to play most sports, you have to have some physical reaction ability that these elite athletes have. Curling has a lot of skill, but it's learnable skills,
Yeah.
which is my only thought. But I did the same thing where I was like, oh, I'll be an Olympic curler. And then I went curling one time and like couldn't stand
I
on
can't
the
do
ice.
it. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Because I'm a fine skier, but like I have no
You just have to
interest
be,
in.
you just have to be crazy.
Yeah, and
It's
I'm
so
not.
dangerous.
I'm a scaredy cat. I'm a wimp. I'm a wimp, guys. Now
Yeah.
you know. Now you know. Okay, I want to talk about the quad god because you discovered a really, really amazing nugget about Ilya Malinin, who helped clinch the gold for Team USA in figure skating with an epic performance. But he apparently wanted to be a soccer player.
Yeah, so his mom is a famous, I probably should have had this locked down. I'm going to say famous Uzbek figure skater or
Okay.
Kazakh. And his dad was also a skater, and his grandfather is a famous coach. And as a kid, he only wanted to play soccer. And his mom was like really upset about it, apparently. And his grandfather was like, well, don't worry. Once he realizes he's like amazing at this, he will come back around. But he has still said to this day, like, oh, my dream was to be a soccer player. He warms up with a soccer ball behind, like in the locker room,
Yep.
and they cut to it going into the team event where he, I don't know, did a move no
You
one's ever done
actually saw
before.
it, like, on the
And I
broadcast.
watched him, and he has ball skills.
Of course.
Like he's like techers in the back, like step overs, Cruyffs, all that type of stuff, but looked smooth. I hate that. Where it's like, I don't really play soccer, but I do. And you watch people who don't. And
I
you're like,
look
oh,
so awkward.
You're
doing
better at
PPO.
playing soccer than me. I
Yeah.
hate that you're great
I
at
know.
a different thing. So it was his dream. I think he's done a little bit of stuff with the USSF, like whatever.
Okay.
My guess would be coming out of this Olympics
Oh,
when he
100%.
becomes this international global superstar. He will be a huge part of the like celebrity people around the World Cup and the team and all of that. But yeah, it was his dream growing up, and it has been like a huge part of his life since, which is really cool. He grew up in Virginia, so
Okay.
maybe he's a DC United fan. I'd be shocked if
I
he
was
was.
gonna ask. I was wondering what must his team be?
Very few people besides Douglas can live through that pain year after year.
Yeah, if he was smart, maybe.
But I haven't
that's
seen a
not the
team
case.
associated to him.
Okay.
So, Michelle Kang can get him on the Washington Spirit side of things.
Oh my gosh.
He does a flip on the ice.
It's
while
incredible.
Skating. It's absurd. And that's not even the thing he's famous for. That's
No.
crazy.
Quad God.
Yeah.
He is incredible. It's the pre-game or pre-performance keepy-ups is such a thing though, because like all hockey players do that. I used to cover the Blackhawks back in the day, and like every time I would show up at the stadium, they were down there just like kicking it around, and
It's because
it was a ritual.
the player base is so like European.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying to think. There's obviously a lot of Canadians, but then there were some Swedes for sure. There were some Russians, but yeah, I mean, it was a cultural melting pot. So, I mean, soccer certainly
global game
lends itself to that. But
There's-
before every match, that's what they were doing.
There's some history I found
I say
with some famous. There's a couple gold medalists, Norway, Sweden, Finland type stuff, who also played professional soccer. So they like played hockey and soccer. But this was also in the time when like soccer wasn't fully professional in these countries. These sports weren't fully professional. So it's kind of like Otis Thorpe. Yeah, he's like a 5-time Olympian in 9 different sports because he was just like an athlete and no one was like specialized at the time. That's kind of what it felt like more. But I found multiple players who have scored goals in Olympic hockey and scored in international competitions for some of these countries, which is wild. Yeah.
Pretty impressive. Well, staying on the hockey theme, Carly Wickenheiser, who is a new signing for North Carolina Courage,
We're very excited
has a
about this.
very big Olympic and hockey connection. So she is the daughter of former NHL player Doug Wickenheiser and the cousin of former Canadian hockey captain Haley Wickenheiser. Haley Wickenheiser was like the shit. Like
insane.
She won four gold medals and 1 silver. She was captain. She's in the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame. Like she is Canada hockey. Like this is her. And Carly, her cousin, she's played most of her club career, I believe, in Sweden, but was just signed by the NC Courage. So that's a really fun little through line.
This was very exciting on our NWSL show where Jordan Angeli, who is one of the co-hosts on Committee that you hosted with last week, which got me through one of my altitude runs, which was awesome.
Love being there for you.
Even though I will say I do have opinions on things
I know,
can
Gus.
talk about them.
You
But I
can.
was also really, I thought it at like 10 seconds before Jordan said it, and I was like, I'm really glad Jordan's on the show. But she should also be here because she is 1, from Denver, where a lot of winter sports happen, and 2, her brother plays professional hockey. Yeah. So
Jordan's brother?
yeah, I want to say he's in the, it's a lower division. I don't know the hockey scene that well.
How did I not know this?
Yeah, she like will post. Now I feel like I'm really worried that
That
I got it wrong,
family,
but I don't
man.
think I did.
Jeez Louise, what a bunch of underachievers these
Yeah, right.
Angeles are.
Yes, he plays for the Orlando Solar Bears in the ECHL.
Very cool. I
Yeah.
did not know that.
So she was very excited when this came up of a player coming into NWSL with hockey family.
Yeah, that's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Okay, how about Sammy Smith?
This is crazy.
This is an
crazy.
insane story, you guys. So Sammy Smith is a Stanford sophomore, and she literally just played in the Women's College Cup final with Stanford, with the Cardinals. She is competing in Milan in skiing, in cross-country skiing. So she has just won a national title in college as a sophomore and is now competing in cross-country skiing for Team USA, which is wild. So she won in January, after her January 2025, after her freshman season at Stanford, she won the U.S. national championship in the sprint. And then I think her event is actually today. We're recording on a Tuesday. I think she's competing today in cross-country skiing.
Oh yeah, I can look at which one she does because there's like all the different versions. But she competes with Jessie Diggins, who's won gold medals or has set records, because she's like the basically best cross country skier in U.S. history, which is really really cool.
It's
so
insane.
The whole story.
How do you have time? How do you have time?
There's a lot going on here. One is she's a ridiculous athlete. She's played. So she played, like, let's just be clear. She played in the College Cup final.
Yeah.
Like, she plays for the second best team in the country. She doesn't just play college soccer. She starts for them. She has played for the U.S. Youth National Team, represented them at a Pan American Games, which I would say is the hardest team talent pool maybe to get into in the world. So that's one sport. And then she jumps off that and goes and competes against people who compete all year round in a different sport and is able to keep up with them and contend, which is why, by the way, I said the Christian Waldon thing before, because I think a lot of this stuff is like mental. Like
Completely.
This is a sport that is about, can you grind through pain?
Yeah.
And like, can you stick with, like these are all things, by the way, this is why I love the Olympics. I think NBC crushes it with the announcers, and the announcers teach me like 7% of each sport. And I'm like, I'm an expert. This is what you got to do. And you just have to like hang with people, right? It's all mental. It's not like, oh, what's my game plan? What's my perfection? It's just like, stay close, stay close, stay close. And like, it is absolutely insane. She had one shot to make the Olympics and she won the race she had to win.
Unbelievable. It's truly remarkable. They are definitely wired differently, these super athletes. Have you tried cross-country skiing?
Like twice. I ski a little, and I actually found it really hard because there's no edges.
Yeah,
so I kept falling.
Awkward.
Because I didn't do the one in the track.
Fun.
Yeah, it was not fun, but it's so good for you.
Oh, I know. I'm sure it is.
Because it's zero
I
impact, and you're doing cardio in the cold.
Yeah.
So it's why all those people from those areas all just look like these like string beans of muscle.
God, it's a hard pass from me.
Yeah.
Hard pass from me. No, it's pretty cool.
And to throw out there, so there was, I think this is interesting because I do a lot of like youth development stuff and whatnot. We are becoming more specialized, which I think is wrong. I think like kids are being pushed to be like stuck in a thing at 7. Mm-hmm. And her coach for cross-country skiing was like, she's special and we're not going to specialize her. Because what makes her special is when she has a passion, she perfects things, she fights for them, she enjoys them. So she would go to she'd go to youth soccer camps and leave for months at a time, weeks at a time, and not train.
Wow.
And then she'd come back and they'd train her. And I think in a time period where we are like, people are obsessing about a 5-year-old on Instagram and getting them in the right camp, and now parents are worried that the kid's not in the right elementary school to push to the right school. I think it's pretty cool to see this, which is allowing her to find her interests, and they all fuel each other. Like there's zero doubt in my mind that some of the best athletes, what makes them great is the things they've learned from other sports. And I think this is an example of that.
100%. Very well said. Apparently though, gosh, she's not the only college soccer player in Milan Cortina.
I found this while I was looking it up. Yeah. Bianca Ribby is going to be one of the pilots for the Canadian bobsled team. And she played 4 years of college soccer at Dartmouth with the Big Green. Is that Dartmouth? The Green? Big Green. And I think she was youth national team with Canada as well while she was coming up and coming through.
Amazing.
So, yeah, another great athlete.
I am endlessly impressed with all of these athletes. They're incredible. Gus and I will probably continue to be talking about the Milan Olympics moving forward. So just be warned. All right, Gus, let's chat some Canks Abroad, shall we? Do you think, on this note, Christian Pulisic, do you think he's checking out any of the
Yeah, you have
Olympic? Like, why isn't he posting about it then? I
don't know.
I need some content.
Yeah, I think that's
dive into.
I think that's a fair complaint to
Do
have.
better.
Yeah.
Do better. But let's chat on Ricardo Pepi. Okay, so the latest on him, there was a potential move to Fulham that was going to happen in the winter transfer window that fell through because PSV could not find a replacement.
This is the most absurd thing ever.
For him.
He's injured for 8 weeks. So the replacement for him is no one.
Right.
So that's one of the stories to know about this. The other one is, let me just make sure I have this right. So PSV plays in the Dutch Eredivisie. They lead by 17 points. So the other issue is you don't need a replacement.
Yeah. You're good. You're good, dog. Yeah, this was disappointing. I felt for Ricardo. I think we all wanted this move for him, right?
I think one thing is with players, and Jordan, I think on the show you guys touched on this a little. Jordan knows better than I do, but like, I think one thing is you just focus on this thing, you get excited.
Yeah.
So it's a letdown. I think all of us have been through job interviews while we're at a job, and you think it's going to happen, and it doesn't, and it's like, oh, that's okay, I have a job. But you had a thing you got excited about, and then it went away. And I think that stuff's really hard. There's obviously financial payout because players get percentage of transfers. Agents obviously get percentage of transfers. So there's a huge amount of money there. And then there's the dream part, which is like, it's considered the best league in the world, and it's a huge opportunity for him. I think the positive is, with his injury and where he stands, Fulham wasn't signing him for now. They were signing him because they believe in him for the future, and they think the price is going to go up, and that's why they wanted to close on it. And so I think that move will be there for him going forward. He just has to get healthy and playing again. But I don't think it was a one. There are other moves you see where it's like, oh, they have a bunch of injuries, they need this player, and it's like, this is the one time this is going to happen. Yeah, that's not the case with this. Definitely
not. Is there any concern that we know that the Premier League is such a physical league, and he's not terribly injury prone, but this isn't the first time. I just want, does the Premier League, would playing in the Premier League suit his game?
Yeah, I think he'd be fine. I think he's a specialist. He is one of the best finishers. I think he's the best finisher the U.S. has ever produced in terms of like pure ability to do this one thing. And that is one of those things, like being a closer in baseball or a kicker in football, where it's like, you are worth millions of dollars. You don't have to do anything else. And if you do that one thing right, you had a good game. And so for all of the like intricacies of, will he fit? Is it the right speed for him? All of that. If they create chances, he'll put them away. And if he puts them away, he'll keep playing and he'll do well. So I think it would work out well. And I think one of the thought processes is like Raul Jimenez is getting a little older. He's there.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to bring him in as a future replacement for him. And we see the example of the chances they create for Raul Jimenez. Ricardo Pepi can finish similar types of stuff.
Definitely. Is he he's our number 2? Would we say number 2
for
behind
the U.S.?
For the U.S.
Yeah, I'd
Balogun.
Say so. It's like, it feels like it's an open conversation, but also in a good way of different people are playing. I mean, Patrick Ageman's scoring goals. That's true. And Mauricio Pochettino really likes him. I think when he's healthy and playing, he wants to play him. Obviously, Josh Sargent's trying to get this move so he can start playing a little. Well, I guess he's playing with Norwich, but playing with TFC and get his shot in there. So, Haji, right? I don't think it's fully decided, but I think Pepi has the inside track if he can get healthy and prove himself, especially if he can get into that March window and be in the team. I think would really help him.
Ride that Pepi train. Okay, I'm very excited to talk about Weston McKennie because who's
going to be playing at the San Siro as part of the Olympics. Maybe he should be going to events.
Do you know what? If anyone it's him. I feel like Weston would have a good old time at some of these events. He just seems like a fun guy. What can I say? And I'm so happy for him, Goss, because I feel like for the last 3 or 4 seasons, this guy, no matter how well he's playing on the field, is perpetually having to prove himself. And there's always this conversation around him of probably not going to renew his contract. And finally, Weston McKennie is appreciated and wanted. And I feel really good about that because I feel like he came into this season for Juve. He looked different. He was cut. He looked like he just completely trained the hell out of himself. Super fit. And Juventus now are rewarding him with wanting to extend his contract, which is great news.
Yes.
But now he's got other suitors involved in the mix with Inter Milan sniffing around. So in one, like I'm just happy for him that he finally, because he's had a fantastic season, especially since Luciano Spalletti took over at Juventus. He's got 11 goal contributions in those 3 months. Like he has been an essential part of Juve's success this season. So do you think it behooves him to just stay at Juve, where it's been kind of an emotional roller coaster?
It's been a
but
vibe.
He seems to have kind of like found this beautiful level playing.
Yeah.
Or does he test the waters elsewhere?
I think this happens every year. Every year at one transfer window, whether it's summer or winter, he's gone. There's no way he's going to play. Then he's starting 2 weeks later. It is like the wildest thing. I think he's a unique personality and a unique player. I think he's hard to understand. I think that's what happens here. Like, I don't think over the course of a week, if you were to track people training, it'd be like Weston McKennie is the top soccer player on this club. I don't know that he trains that way. I don't know that he looks that way in training. I don't know that he plays the game that way. And then on the field in games, he is a game changer in a lot of unique ways that are less natural soccer-y wise. It's not always on the dribble. It's like, it's headers. It's his ability to break the game in ways that we don't expect. I think he's really hard for people to understand, and yet he's effective. Yeah. And so I think there's this constant push-pull of like, probably the underlying data doesn't say all the time that he's the guy, or coaches get frustrated with the way he acts or the way he plays. But then the performances are there when he gets the chances, and it's constantly this push and pull. I say all that in saying, I think that's hard to take somewhere else and be appreciated quickly.
Agreed.
So if you have some level of comfort, I think that's probably better for you than some other players where you say like, oh, you have to go push yourself or get outside your comfort zone, or this isn't the right club for you. I just think if people around you get you at some point, that's where you want to be. Also, they're a giant. It's not like he's playing.
I was going to say Juve's a huge club.
I mean,
they're going to be in Champions League. Like this is I mean, Inter is Inter, but I have a feeling that it's a completely different microscope at that club. And so to your point, it feels like Spalletti understands him, understands the type of player he is, how to get the best out of him, and wants to utilize him. Like, don't rock the boat, kid.
Yeah. This is my Weston McKennie story, and then I'll be done, which is I covered him when he was a youth player. It was the first youth tournament I ever covered. So I didn't really know how it worked as much. Luchi Gonzalez was his coach, who went on to coach in MLS and coached him with the national team as well. And the first few games I went to, he was yelling Weston McKennie's name constantly. And I was like, this kid must be terrible because he's getting yelled at the whole game. It was because he was capable of covering the whole game. So at every moment, Weston McKennie's in the play because he's pressing high, he's dropping deep, he's winning balls, he's distributing passes. And like everything that was happening could only be with him.
Yeah.
And that I think has continued through the rest of his career. It's really hard to put in the structure of this is how we're going to play. You know, Pep wants to work out every move that happens 2 weeks in advance and pre-assign it. That's not what he's great at.
Yeah.
But he wins games for you. And I think that's the part that like I've always, since that moment, have tried to understand as I watch him play and his career progress.
Love that. Great story, Gus. Worth sharing. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Yunus Musa, which has just been kind of a bummer. So he was loaned out to Atalanta from AC Milan over the summer, but he's hardly getting any minutes at all. And what do you think is the reason behind this exile? Because is it one of these things where it's like his position is so convoluted, like we just don't know where he fits? Because it just feels like this is a talent. We know that he's got talent, and we've certainly seen it for the U.S. In periods of time, and
in Europe with his clubs. Yeah, I don't know.
It's very, very confusing. So I'm guessing that they are going to try to get a move. So this guy can actually get. Do you think MLS?
I think he should. Yeah. I think he should. I think if I was an MLS team, we just saw James Rodriguez signed in MLS just to get himself ready for the World Cup. And it feels like Steven Eustachio just did the same, who's going to be one of the stars for Canada with LAFC. And if I was Yunus Musa, I would do the same. The one thing I can get to with Musa is like, so to me, it's like if you have a clean touch on the ball, like I would play you all the time. You're my favorite soccer player in the world. Other people don't care about that as much because they're less impressed by it. He doesn't really create chances. He doesn't really attack. He doesn't really create danger. He's very like safe. And I think he's reached the line where it's like he's really good at that. And that can get you up till the top 1% of teams in the world. He's in that top 1%. And the gap between him and the other people is they do this other thing that he doesn't do as much. So there's a few options. You drop down a little, and do you establish yourself? You know, we've seen how many players where, who are they? Where do they fall? I think like Real Betis has shown us this a lot over the last few months of like these guys at Man U and Tottenham and all this stuff, and they're not good enough, quote unquote. And then they get into the right team at the right level, and they are. Like it's just maybe they're not the 0.01% at the top. And that might be the case with Musa, and he might need to learn that stuff. He might still be able to. But I think if he came into MLS, he'd get a shot. And because he's American, he doesn't take up an international roster spot. So, like, the team doesn't have to, like, fully commit a lot to him. They could get him on loan and put him in the right spot, and maybe he could play for 6 months and reestablish himself.
I would love that for him. He's such a sweet boy.
Yeah.
He is so sweet. When I was working at Morning Footy, we had him at the desk ahead of the Nations League. And his smile is infectious. Like, and he literally was smiling the whole time, was just so kind and polite to everyone. Went around after we had him on and like shook everyone's hand. Like, thank you so much for having. I was like your mother raised you so well, kid. He is a darling, and I just adore him. And so I want good things.
We're Team Musa.
I know, Team Musa all the way. We're also Team Jacen Russell-Rowe, who scored a really big move recently.
Congrats.
23-year-old Canadian forward. He sold from Columbus Crew to Ligue 1 side Toulouse. I'm sorry, I'm still in my French thing. I can't get over it. Yeah.
You don't have to. We just keep France involved, so it keeps coming back.
Well, it's interesting because there is kind of a history of Canadians doing well in Ligue 1. It feels like it's this a really smart leap for some of those people. So
yeah, it's one of those things too where like a Canada friend I was texting with, and it's like, oh, like, is this the right move? Canada would have killed to have a player playing at a club like this 15 years ago, 10 years. I mean, 5 years ago, really. And now it's like, oh, it's another one. Like he's on the list of Canadian attackers, not Canadian players. He's on the list of Canadian forwards who plays at this level. Like it is ridiculous the amount of talent that Canada has produced. And this is another one where I think, I mean, obviously the money is huge for someone in his career. He got cut by Toronto FC. Yeah. Like he was just straight up cut. He went to college to like see what he was going to do after. And then some of the people at Toronto who knew him and did like him were working at Columbus, and they brought him over, including Corey Ray, who now is at St. Louis, and Tim Bezbachenko, who's at Bournemouth, and Issa Tall, who runs Columbus. So it was like he was kind of out of the pro game, similar to how Mark Anthony Kaye was, who committee member and ended up at a World Cup. So it's wild the way the careers go, but it is just, it's like, it's hard to remember how far Canada has come in such a quick time.
I know, it's wild. And that was Columbus Crew, it's good business for the Crew, man. 2.5 million plus add-ons for them. Like that's some good.
For a guy who's not a starter.
Good cash. But yeah, he's joining other Canadians in France, like Jonathan, like big names, Jonathan David, Moises Bombito, Ismail Coney, like all these guys are doing their thing in Ligue 1. And so this is just another very great Canadian addition to the France soccer scene over there. Breaking news on Kickback Committee, Gus. We're now in the breaking news.
I was going to do a breaking news noise and I didn't have one.
Pew, pew. Can I be Susie Scoops?
Sure.
Susie Scoops. MLS has apparently released a bunch of their jerseys for this upcoming season. And so we're going to take a peek and weigh in on our thoughts. I have to admit, Gus, I saw a few of these leaked, and my initial impression overall was meh.
Unimpressed.
Susie Scoops is unimpressed.
No scoops from Susie. So here's my one thing first. I like a collar.
Love a collar.
So some of the more boring ones have collars, which I'm kind of into. So that part I like. And then a few of them have some interesting patterns.
I agree.
Like San Jose, I think, is tie-dye.
It's tie-dye. And there was some speculation that it was some sort of Jerry Garcia Grateful Dead homage.
My first date with my wife was at a Dead & Co. show in San Jose.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
That's romantic.
Neither of us listened to the Grateful Dead.
Doesn't matter.
Yes.
Look what happened.
Yes, for sure. So I'm here for that one. But so I think there's like 5 that look interesting.
Yeah.
But overall, they're boring.
Overall, do you know what you mentioned? There are 8. I think there are 8 that are just solid color.
Yeah.
And I think if you're gonna do solid color, then make it pop. There's something else that has to stand out. Like Chicago Fire, for example. It's not like the most exciting kick, but they have a collar, and I really like that. I think it makes it look polished and sharp.
Right. And I think it's a bit of a throwback to an older jersey, which I don't mind. But the best part is when they go solid colors is then you get the PR write-up, which says like electric, the history of the color and the emphasis and the emotion and the soul and the shoulders. The sleeve is 3/4 of a length. Yeah. The 3/4 of a length instead of the full length to show our 3/4 ability to contend and all that stuff. I think that's fair. I think if you're watching on YouTube, Douglas has pulled up some. Shout out to the Cooligans for getting this up on Instagram.
Thanks, guys.
So we can look at it here. I think NYCFC is a little bit interesting. I don't mind hoops. So I like FC Dallas. They've got a blue and red hoop.
I enjoy Dallas's as well.
And RSL kind of is just the inverse of it.
But
yet I don't like it as much.
Yeah, it just RSL's is like, okay, I feel like I've seen that before. LAFC's, again, they usually hit the mark for me. And once again, they've done one that I really enjoy. It's got like a gold pattern woven into the black, and it's very cool.
Are you a Stranger Things fan?
I am.
I don't know if Red Bulls is trying to be Stranger Things or if it's, it's kind of looks like a volcano.
Interesting.
So that's one of the ones. It's down on the bottom of the one that Douglas has up there.
Okay.
That one. And then the Revs, I do believe the Revs in Philly are 250th U.S. anniversary based.
I didn't love them. I feel bad.
I like the Revs better than I like Philly's. Like I don't hate that. There's a little bit of action going on.
Yeah, it looks like
I think it's a firework. Yeah,
fireworks. Yeah, it's okay. Okay, maybe if I see some in person, send me your kits. Then I will have a different opinion. But my initial reaction, Goss, is just like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
If I get any in person, and if you get any in person, please give me a full report.
Will do.
Okay,
will do.
Thank you. All right, Gus.
First ever breaking news segment on committee.
Wow, and it was for kits, which feels entirely appropriate.
Feels perfect.
That's the kind of breaking news that I'm here for. We were gonna hit the Great British Bake Off with you, but
salute to Prue.
I know. I will just tell you though, Jordan Angeli baked sourdough. So
I know she did one while we were recording a show. She had it in.
It was it was like a prop. I was blown away. My mind was truly blown. It was amazing. But yeah, we'll discuss the changes at Great British Bake Off another time. I look forward to that. Very much look forward to, and watch the traders for me so we can have some discussions. Thank you.
Now that I'm post Rod, that will be, I promise, once I catch up on the pit, that will be the next thing I do.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you're checking out all the content coming your way from our friends at Soccer Wise and First Touch. Subscribe to our newsletter. Follow us on all the socials, and enjoy all the sports that are happening right now. We'll see you next time.